For the past year, I've been reviewing Piggy fan games. These games vary heavily from each other, but some of these games can surpass the quality of the original Piggy.
I just wanna get the kick. I just wanna be a friend.
And my goal is to find these games. One game has been requested a ton over the past 3 fan game videos. A game that appears to be a simple roleplay game on the surface, but has a lot more to it. And this game isn't lazily made by any means either. No, this game has some high quality additions that even I was surprised by. The game we'll be taking a look at today is Accurate Piggy Roleplay: The Return. APRP is not a new game by any means, and there's a reason that the game is called Accurate Piggy Roleplay: The Return. There were actually 2 other versions of this game released before and after Return, those being the OG APRP and the APRP The Reborn. The original APRP was just an average roleplay game. We were able to play as any Book 1 character and some Book 2 characters, but when an update came to Roblox Studio, the game was forced to shut down. I have zero clue what this update added, but in January 2021, the game came back under a new name. I'll get into these chapters in more detail later on, but to give you a quick rundown, they are chapters with a story separate from Piggy's. These chapters were the main reason people recommended this game so much. Apparently they're quite entertaining, but I'll be the judge of that. Before that though, I thought it'd be a good idea to at least check out the roleplay stuff, even though I don't partake in the act of Piggy roleplaying. I can't fully judge a game if I don't play at all, so I loaded into the roleplay section and got to exploring. But of course I had to create my own character first. I was actually quite surprised by all the options the game had for creating characters. Not only could you select different colors and body parts, you could also select different sounds, music, and animations. And once again, this game has a ton of options. When I was done, I was actually able to save my super cool creation. On a side note, what do you guys think of my character? I personally was going for something like Gojo. Do you guys see the resemblance? Because I sure do.
Got the cap.
Anyways, the maps for this game are ripped straight from Piggy. But since this game is technically official since it was approved by Minitoon, this game is allowed to do this. Some maps aren't just ones we're familiar with. No. There's actually some original ones too. Well, not original, but maps we as the player have never gotten to explore before. Like Old Oak, or the Factory ending cutscene. One complaint I have with these is that there's invisible walls that forbid you from going too far. It makes the maps a lot smaller than they should be, but this isn't the end of the world. The experience is a simple role-playing game, and I can see the appeal. But other than finding badges, I don't see why any person would spend time on this game. You know, besides role-playing. But if you're into this kind of thing, then this is probably for you. But since I'm not a role player, I wouldn't really know. So how about we just move on to the stuff that interests me the most, the playable chapters. These things are interesting, to say the least. APRP definitely prides itself on creating high quality maps, and I'll get into why I think that in just a second, but all you need to know for now is that these maps look really nice. But before we get deeper into this, I should let you guys know that I won't be covering any of the story in this game. I don't care about the story in any of the fan games I play unless it truly interests me. So why should I deduct points from a game that's really good if I dislike such a small part? The story isn't really that important anyway, so don't worry. But I will be taking a look at the animation in the intro and outro cutscenes. But with that, let's just move on. There are 4 maps and we'll be looking at all of them. First one on the list is Construction Site. This map does a lot right, but ultimately falls off in a couple aspects. But I'll get into those in just a minute. For now, let's talk about all the pros. For starters, this map looks really good. There's a ton of details like buildings, trees, rocks, and even things you wouldn't notice like the spiky ice. It doesn't take a genius to recognize the work that went into designing this map. But does the gameplay match the design? I believe it does. This game is a lot harder than the original Piggy by a mile. There's multiple enemies that can jump out at you and end your run. And this happened to me quite a bit. But this first map actually feels quite fair. There's a ton of trial and error, but it does feel pretty rewarding. However, my game glitched near the end where I was supposed to give an NPC a fire hydrant, so that did taint my view on this map quite a bit. But let me know if this glitch is common or not, because it never happened to me again. But for a first map, this is actually not bad at all. It does leave a lot to be desired, but I did enjoy playing it quite a bit. But with that, let's just move on to the next map. The next map I'll be playing is the Attic, and this map is significantly more interesting than the last one. It does have a lot of things that I believe ruin it as well. But let's talk about the pros first. This map looks incredible. I love the abandoned feel of this place with all the vines and broken flooring, but it changes up the more you get into the map. It goes from an abandoned cabin vibe to an entire facility, and I believe this actually works quite well. I also love how dark the map is. There's a mechanic where you can only use the flashlight for a couple seconds. That means you have to use it wisely. Some places on the map don't need a flashlight, but others definitely do. So making sure you aren't wasting your battery is very important. But that's where my praise ends. This map has way too many bots. People did warn me about this game's difficulty, but holy, this is just way too much. If you guys remember, in one of my old Piggy fan games videos, I said that adding random chase sequences near the end of the map is a very bad idea. This game does something like that, but it's definitely executed a bit better. Instead of being at the end of the map, it's at the beginning, and I could react to the chase a lot more than the other one. So this game does a chase sorta well, but I don't really like it. At the end of the day, I was not able to complete this map. I'm just not a super Piggy pro like I thought I was. But this map is still really good. I have my issues, but you can tell it had a lot of effort put into it. And now it's time to talk about the last two chapters. And these are odd, to say the least. But how about we just check them out? The next chapter, Silent Town, is a Christmas-themed map. And I won't spend too much time talking about it since it's more like an arcade-styled minigame. When you load into the map, you're given a screen full of words. But all you really need to know is the gameplay loop. You're given a gun and a couple bullets. The main enemy is Krampus. Shooting Krampus does no damage, but it's still very important. If you shoot him from afar, he'll leap towards you. But if you shoot him close up, he'll whip everything in front of him. You'll need Krampus to open crates that give loot. The loot can be traded for more bullets. You can also find dynamite. Apparently this dynamite can be placed on the ice, but I could not figure out where. And surprise, surprise, I didn't beat this map either. So you guys can obviously tell I'm the greatest reviewer ever. Moving on, this map is actually pretty fun. I do have some gripes, but none are too massive. Starting off with the pros, this map is really well designed. I enjoy the small town aesthetic, and I believe it's one of the better Piggy maps I've played in terms of design. Maybe it's just because I'm a sucker for Christmas themed maps, but I love how this place looks. I also like how this map changes the Piggy formula and does something cool with it. Anyways, time to be negative. First of all, this map has a wall of text that explains some things, but not any way to kill Krampus? It tells you how to do things like stun him and break crates, but everything else is left for the player to figure out. And since I'm a dumb, stupid baby, I kinda had a small guess on what to do, but I couldn't find a way to execute these ideas, or I'd die trying. So let's just move on. Oh, come on, another minigame. The final chapter at the time of me making this video is Railway Howls. And holy cow, does this game mode suck nuts. But allow me to explain what you'll be doing in this awesome game mode. You pick up crates and run away from a spooky wolf. Did I mention you pick up crates? Okay. I do gotta admit, this map looks really nice. The quality in this game consistently delivers, but other than looking good, this game mode falls flat in my opinion. The gameplay loop is boring and uninteresting. Finding crates that are obnoxious to locate gets old fast, and it sucks because this concept could be really fun. Maybe adding more abilities for the robotic character we play as to differentiate from the normal human character we play as. I also don't like how the last two maps label themselves as chapters. They don't follow the same story as chapter 1 and 2, so it just complicates things. So just moving these two game modes into a different tab or just label them as something else. But other than that, this game mode is a nothing burger. So let's just move on. At the end of the day, APRP is a really good game in terms of quality. When it comes to gameplay, it suffers a little bit, but with a few tweaks I can see this game being almost perfect. Because I did enjoy my time playing this experience for the most part. And if you haven't played this game and find yourself wanting a challenge, I totally recommend this game. And it's hard to say where I'd place this on my non-existent Piggy fan games tier list, but I believe it'd be between A or B. But that concludes this video. If you enjoyed it, leave a comment with a fun and interesting game for me to check out. But with that, I'll see you guys in the next one.